Right, good morning and welcome to today's lesson on units of measurement. Today we're looking at direct comparisons between containers to try and decide and explain which holds more water and therefore which has a greater capacity and volume. So all you're going to need is a few containers from the kitchen. I've just grabbed some little Tupperware ones, a glass and a mixing bowl. And I've got some water that I'm going to use to fill the containers up. So what we're going to try to do first is order the containers from smallest to largest. So I've gone for this one being the smallest, because it's the shortest of all of the containers, except for this one, whereas this one is much longer and it's wider as well. So that tells me that this one can fit more water, so it's going to have a bigger volume. So first of all, I'll just fill this one up with water. And that's going to be its maximum volume. So now that this one's full of water, that's the amount of water in there, that's the volume that that container can hold. So to compare between this one and the glass, which I think will be the next smallest container, I'm going to tip this water into here. If there's space left over at the end, that tells us that this container can hold less water than this one. If there's space left over, all the water that goes in here into this glass, the space left over means that's how much water it can hold, which means that's how much bigger its volume is going to be. So we'll tip this one in here as carefully as I can. Yeah, perfect. So this space at the end here, that tells us that that's the extra volume that this container can hold compared to this one. So we're right, this one's the smallest. If we compare it to this one's a little bit tricky because although this container is much taller, as you can see, than this one has more length and it's wider as well. It's more width. So overall, I think it'll be close, but I think that the Tupperware container is going to hold more. So we can try and compare again. So I'll just top this one up with water. And then once again, if there's space left over in this container, that tells us that this one has more volume. If I do try to tip this glass all in here and there's still water left over here and this one's full, that's going to tell us that this container must have been bigger. The glass must have been bigger than the Tupperware container. So let's give it a go. Perfect. So it's pretty full, but there's still a little bit of space at the end, which means that it's not at its full volume, which means the volume of this container is bigger than the glass. And then for the last one, although it's a different shape, it's a round container. Over here. It's about the same length, but it's much taller and it's wider as well. So this one should be able to fit quite a lot more water, I would think. Would have a much bigger volume. So I'll just top this one up. We'll have a look. Yes, that fit quite easily. I'll show you. Look, only about half full, I would say. Perfect. So hopefully this helped you understand the concept of volume and capacity. Thanks.